Hello, Flosstube. Uh, Elizabeth Martinez, phantastitches. Here again today. Here's Puck. See if Puck cooperates this morning. Today is Saturday, the 7th, August 7th, September 7th? September 7th. And I'm here to talk about cross-stitch, despite this unruly cat that was just on my shoulder. This is Flosstube update number 81. I don't know if I said that. But I'm here to talk about cross-stitch. There's a cat gently rubbing his naughty head on my arm, my hand and my arm, because he wants me to pet him, but I don't have, this is not about cats. It's about cross-stitch. It's about a little bit about cats. Anyway, it's about cross-stitch, so let's talk about cross-stitch. Last week I had a little bit of, well, I kind of had a lot of stuff to show, and this week I just have 3 little pieces that I've been working on. Yeah, I was thinking about this, and it reminded me of when I was in graduate school, working on my master's in music. Hold on one second, please. Sorry, I feel like I'm kind of far away. Hold on again. Sorry, I made some little minor adjustments. Anyway, but as I was saying, this reminds me of when I was in graduate school, studying to get my master's in music. And for those of you who are not professional musicians, the way auditions work typically is that an orchestra will advertise a position, and they'll and you send in your resume, and they send you an excerpt list of excerpts they want to hear for this audition. And anyway, so when I was in graduate school, what my teacher had done is he had compiled a list of typically asked for excerpts, and so he wanted me to work on this excerpt list because I was getting ready to go out into the real world and take auditions and stuff. So so he wanted me to learn like the whole piece. So if it was like an excerpt from the Beethoven Fourth Symphony, and it was just this line, this difficult passage from the first movement, and this difficult passage from the fourth movement, or something like that. He wanted me to learn the whole piece, the whole Fourth Symphony, bassoon part, or whatever. So the first bassoon or second bassoon, or whatever the excerpt was. And so, hold on one second. Sorry. I had another cat interruption. Anyway, so he had this list, and he wanted me to, rather than just learning the difficult passages or solo passages from the symphony, he wanted me to learn the whole piece. So I would go to the Performing Arts Division, it was called, of the library there at the school, and I would check out, like, say, 4 or 5 symphonies or pieces, and learn the whole thing from beginning to end, all the movements, whatever, the bassoon part. And so some of it was very easy to play, but a lot of it was these difficult passages, solo passages, difficult passages that would typically be on audition lists. And some of them were difficult passages that were not necessarily on the list, but they might be, whatever. So anyway, I would spend all week long learning all this music, and then I would go to my lesson, my hour-long lesson, and of course my teacher didn't want to hear the whole piece. He just wanted to hear the difficult passages, play these 10 measures and those 10 measures or whatever. So I would play them, and he would have me work, play a little bit for more for the lesson or whatever. But typically, I would be done with, all of those excerpts because he wouldn't listen to the whole, he didn't want to hear the whole piece, he just wanted to hear the difficult things. And I would be done in like 20 minutes, 30 minutes at the most, something like that. And so then he would say, okay, so what else do you have? I'm like, nothing. And I don't know if I didn't work hard enough. Maybe I should have worked on more stuff. I don't know. But cat thunder. But I would just I would say, I don't have anything else. That's all I worked on. So it seemed like, like I had worked on a lot all week long. I was killing myself to learn these pieces, and it would take, just a few minutes in my lesson to play everything, and then I was done. And I was like, what else did I do? I don't know. I felt like I didn't do anything. But I felt like I worked all week, but I, didn't have very much to show for it at the end. And that's kind of how I feel like, did I stitch a lot? It seems like I spent a lot of time stitching, and then when these updates, finally it's like, oh, here's this piece, here's this piece, here's this piece, I'm done. That's all I did. That's kind of how it's like, what it's like. But I did do a few things. I did go ahead and purchase PC Stitch, the download for PC Stitch. It's a design work software and stuff like that. So what you can do is, of course, you can make your own designs, or you can import pictures and turn them into cross stitch and stuff like that. So my sister, my older sister, drew a cute little picture, and we've tried, to convert it to cross stitch, and it requires a little bit of tweaking here and there, but we think it'll work. And that's one thing that I started to work on a few days ago. But also, I asked my older nephew. I asked him sort of surreptitiously, because he's one of the ones that I don't have anything for, anything cross stitchy for Christmas coming up. I had decided, well, I think I'll do this for my mother, and I think I'll do this for this sister, and this for this sister, and whatever. But it's easy to think of things that my mom or my sisters or whatever, my niece, might like, but it's harder to come up with stuff that the guys in our family, my dad and my two nephews and my brother-in-law, would like. And typically for Christmas maybe I'll get them something else, but if I could cross stitch something, that's kind of fun, and actually I don't have anything in mind for my brother-in-law. I don't know, but so for my two nephews, for my nephew Eli, he's the one I made the little Pac-Man bracelet for. There's a cross stitch pattern that I've seen on Pinterest, and I went to the website for this thing. I think the website is something like dailycrossstitch.com, something like that. And they typically have a new release pattern every day or something. Anyway, so they had one that was an image of a game controller, and it says, I have control issues, and I wanted to buy that. And I went to the website and found the pattern, and it was only like $2.99 because it's like a PDF download thing. And so when I went, I put it in my cart, and I went to check out, and then it said something like you have to be logged in to check out. But then it said if you have an account with us, you put your password and your email in there, and and then they had an option for if you had a coupon code. Well, I didn't have a coupon code, so I just went to and it says, it said something like, if you don't have an account with us, proceed to checkout, but there was no button to proceed to checkout. So I just went to the login thing, and I put in my email address, and I put in a password, to create a password or whatever. But then I got a little error message that said, something like, your email is incorrect. And I'm like, I don't understand how that works. So anyway, I'm going to take another look at it and see if I can figure it out and whatever else. But then for my other nephew, my voice is goofy. For my other nephew, I wasn't quite sure, what he would like, and I had noticed that, sorry, that a few days ago he had ordered some Star Trek models. He's pretty much more into Star Trek than I realized. But so I just, by way of conversation the other night, I asked him, well, who's your favorite Star Trek character? Because I thought, well, if it's something like, Kirk or Spock or whatever, I can find something like that typically pretty easy on Etsy or someplace. I could find even if it's those little cartoon figures, I could do a Spock or whatever. But so of course he mentioned an Andorian character. Now I don't know if people outside of Star Trek would know what an Andorian is, but they have like blue skin and white hair and little antennas, And there's a Star Trek version of, there are several Star Trek series, right? The original series, Next Generation, and there was Voyager and Deep Space Nine and Enterprise. And this particular Andorian character that he mentioned is a character on Enterprise. And there's like a few images of him, but typically, I looked at all the like cross-stitch Star Trek stuff, and there's no Andorians. So if I want to stitch an Andorian, which I kind of do want to, I'm going to have to either adapt an existing pattern or create a pattern myself of an Andorian. I don't know. We'll see how that goes. But so with that in mind, I think if I can come up with it, what I'm going to do is I bought some black, just Ada cloth, and this little hoop. And I'm gonna probably mount it on here, and mount it on this hoop, and use some probably not this color of blue, this shade of blue, but something kind of complementary that would show up well on this black Ada cloth and the white hair, and see if I can come up with either an original drawing or an adaptation of an Andorian. But anyway, so yeah, that remains to be seen. So anyway, there's a cat. So as far as what I did at cross stitching, I talked about this last week, the Freebie, the ones you love, and I had finished the bunny, and I was almost finished with the scarf. So all I did was I worked on the scarf, and I just finished that. There's a cat. It's howling. Stop, Snug. Sorry. So I just finished his scarf here, and that was all I did. And then I thought about, well, do I want to do the snowman's scarf or whatever, and in thinking about that, I just, I didn't feel like working on it anymore, so I didn't. Stop, Snuggle, please. So anyway, then I went to work. I decided to one of the things I hadn't worked on in a while was the Prairie Schooler Santa. Last time, stop that please. last time I had worked on it, I had done just the bottom of his little jacket here, the green part, and then I think some of this it's hard to see these green the hem and the buttons or whatever, this green stuff here is all I had done. So I worked on it some more and added the red of his jacket, and right here is going to be the legs of the lamb he's holding. So I stitched this trim of his cuff here, and like his glove is going to be here, and he's holding the lamb right here, and then his beard is going to be above this. So this is one shoulder, and I started on the other side of his jacket. So that's as far as I got, and this is a needle minder. It says Floss Girl, that I got at Joann's or Hobby Lobby, something like that. Joann's, I think. I don't know, one of those places. So I got it a few weeks ago. So I don't remember, but yeah. Please don't do that, Snug. It's over here so the cat will stop licking it. Anyway, so that's this is the 2019 Prairie School with Santa. Yeah, so this is like where the little baby lamb is redundant, isn't it? Little lamb that he's holding. So I did this. There's a little green cuff right there that I did, and then like I said, I did this part of his red jacket here, and then the other side. I didn't do his trousers or his boots yet or whatever. So I have a ways to go still on that one. And then I worked on this Needle Bling Designs Christmas Eve ride. And it says here, may you never be too old to search the skies on Christmas Eve. So I think last time I worked on this, I've done just this house and the main tree part. I had not done the green branches of the tree yet, but I'd done just the trunk, and I had done about 4 of these reindeer here, starting from the center and working this way. I think that's all I had done. There's some. It's hard to see in this picture on the video, but there's like some snow falling here, and then the words and everything. And so I worked on it quite a bit this past week. So I finished all the reindeer, and I started on some of the snow there, and I did the snow in the bottom, and the little church in the middle here, and I'm working on this house over here. And the reason I started working on this house is that the snow, this snow up here, I started up here and just carried the thread between all these little drops of snow, flakes of snow, and the ones that are close to the bottom here, I carried from this bottom line of snow down here, and so the rest of the snow that I want to do, I want to start above this reindeer here. There's little snowflakes around here, and Santa and his sleigh are right about where this needle minder is, right around here, and then the snow continues, and the way I want to do it, I want to end it here above this house, and if there's tuck the thread in to the roof of the house. So I want to finish the house so that I have something to anchor the thread in when I finish it. But anyway, so yeah, so I did kind of a lot on this this is, I didn't talk about the fabric on the other pieces, but this is 18 count Ada. And I tea dyed it with ginger tea. So it's a little bit darker, actually, than the ginger tea came out a little darker than most teas do. So this is tea dyed with ginger tea. And what's funny is that this cloth is like, it's made by Jan Lin. It's, I think it's an older piece. When I first started doing these, experimenting with tea dyes and coffee dyes and stuff like that, I had a lot of just cloth, Ada cloth and stuff like that, that I had in my stash that I had compiled over the years. Excuse me. Sorry. And I just started, just throwing stuff in the tea and coffee dye left and right to see what would happen. I didn't have anything specific in mind for them, but I just wanted to try. So I had some ginger tea, and that's what I dyed that with. These other two are. This is, I think, the Prairie School of Santa is done on like, I think it's fiddler's cloth, and I stuck it also in the tea or coffee dye or whatever, and then this is on even weave. I think it's 28 count even weave. That is also tea or coffee dyed. I don't know which. I think it's what it is. Oh yeah, and this needle minder, it says Floss. This is another one that I bought. It's by Yarnology. And one thing I did mention that I bought, that I did the other day, is these Yarnology also makes these. They're kind of like they're pins. I don't know. To me, that they're like counting pins, because they have like enamel things on the top. Like, this doesn't say floss. I mean, they don't say floss, but like this same type of thing on the top of them, and then it's just like a long, straight, big, heavy pin. So they're kind of like counting pins, kind of like straight pins, whatever, but because they're pointy on the end, like a regular pin, but I just bought. I have them in my needle case. I don't have them handy to show. Anyway, one thing that I do have handy is, I think I've talked about this before, Beam and Read. My younger sister turned me on to this from a quilt shop here in town, but I don't want to aim this directly at the camera, but it's very bright. But the idea is, you hang this around your neck, and you flip this up, and it will illuminate your stitching. And I took it with me when I went to Stitch Nanigans, but it was hanging on my neck, and it was kind of like I couldn't quite get the angle right. But since I typically stitch in bed here, if I put this on my shoulder and aim it up, aim it at the stitching, whatever, it helps illuminate a little better, and it comes in kind of handy. It you can use it has like you can do 3 lights or 6 lights, I guess. I don't know if that. That's very bright. Let me see. Yeah, so one is brighter than the other. But anyway, so yeah, that's. I just thought I would show that little tool off. Since I don't have like an aught light or anything like that, a bright light, but that's kind of helps me I can use that if if I want to turn off my like overhead light late at night or whatever. I can use that little beam and read light to help keep some bright light on my stitching and turn off the other lights in the room. Anyway, so that's all I really worked on. And I was thinking about Bendy Stitchy was talking about an FFO day this coming September. This coming on the 20th. She was talking about it, and I think the idea is that if you have stuff that that is still waiting to in your stash to be FFO'd, fully finished object, to be finished, that that weekend is a time that we're all going to that whoever wants to participate is going to work on these on fully finishing these pieces. And so I maybe I'll do some of that because I have several pieces that are languishing, waiting in my finished stitching pile that are waiting to be FFO'd, and I'm thinking, oh yeah, I can do this, I can do that, I can, and I just haven't done anything. And so they're sitting there, and I've even bought, in some cases, I bought some supplies, some things to finish them with, and I just haven't gotten around to doing it because that would require A, making some decisions about what I'm doing, and B, actually sitting down and doing it. So if I aim for, the 20th, I think is the date. If I aim for that, then maybe I'll actually, get some of those things done. At least one. If I can do at least one, I'll be really happy. It remains to be seen. But so anyway, so I'm hoping to do some more stitching. I really want to finish work on some more on the Prairie School of Santa and on the needle bling designs, the Christmas Eve ride, this one again. I want to finish this house, at least part of it, so that I can finish working on the little white snow drops, if you will. That was one reason why I wanted to finish the reindeer, the 2 remaining reindeer, and I did. But also I can kind of judge where the snowflakes are a little more easily, and then there's some white in this sleigh, and I wanted to do that as well, and then finish the little single snowflakes that are there. And and I I wanted to go ahead and show you my back, to show you how I'm carrying the snowflakes. So over here you can see where I just carried them all over the place. Yeah. So yeah, that's the back side. And you can't really see it here on this side, so I'm pretty happy with that. Yeah. So it's coming along. It still has a long way to go. These house things. Oh, and this is all this particular design is all Weeks Dye Works threads. Yeah. And this is from my friend Sharon Metcalf. This is the needle minder. But this house right here is done. But there's another house and a tree, and one more house and 2 trees on this side, and this house here that I'm finishing. And then, the windows, and there's a cross. This is a church. There's a cross up here and other stuff, and some windows and stuff. Yeah. And this house has some like gables on there, so yeah. yeah, it's coming along, but it's a long way to go. My excerpt list. Whips. So I think that's it. Uh, yeah, I think that's it. So hopefully I will get more done, and hopefully maybe I'll figure out that Andorian. Uh, and I will. I guess let me think if there's anything else I need to cover. Oh, today my nephew Eli is going down to Tucson to go to attend the school that he's going to go to, and so he's pretty excited about that. So that's what's there. His family's taking him down there today, and so yeah, my nephew Rob, the one that likes the Andorian, um, is going to be my parents' only child here in town. Because Hannah's off to Boston, Eli's going to Tucson, and then Rob is coaching wrestling here in town. So um, yeah, so he's going to be their only grandchild in town uh, during the school year anyway. So yeah, uh, it's going to be interesting, to have him be the only one, around a lot. But I think that's it. That's it for now. So I will see you all next time. Again, I'm Elizabeth Martinez, phantastitches. If you want to follow me, go ahead and hit the subscribe button below. And if you hit the little bell thing, it'll tell you every time I update. And you can see what I'm working on. Alright, I'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye.